Welcome! In this video, you will learn what plagiarism is, how to avoid it, and the importance of in-text citations and reference lists. Let's dive in. Plagiarism is a type of cheating. You commit plagiarism when you present someone else's words or ideas as your own and you do not give them credit for it, whether you do that accidentally or on purpose. Intentional plagiarism includes things like buying or finding a paper online, getting someone else to write a paper for you, copying and pasting text without citing it, even though you know you are supposed to, and it even includes self-plagiarism. Self-plagiarism occurs when you turn in a paper you wrote for a previous class and you present it as a new paper for the current class. Accidental plagiarism usually occurs because you do not know how to use information ethically or how to cite your sources correctly. When it comes to plagiarism, your intentions do not matter. If you commit plagiarism accidentally, you will still face consequences. Consequences include failing the assignment, failing the entire course, or even being expelled from school. So, does this mean you cannot use other people's words and ideas at all? Of course not. Of course we want you to use other people's words and ideas. You just have to do so responsibly and ethically. There are 3 ways to use information ethically. They are quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. Quoting is reproducing another person's words exactly, and you put them inside quotation marks, and it also needs an in-text citation. Students tend to overuse quotations. You should use quotations sparingly, only when it's something very powerful or very moving. When in doubt, paraphrase or summarize. Paraphrasing is restating someone else's words or ideas in your own words. A paraphrase is usually about the same length or a little shorter than the original. Paraphrases also need in-text citations. Summarizing is very similar to paraphrasing. It involves restating another person's words in your own words. However, a summary is much shorter than the original, and it covers more of the original work. And yes, summaries also need in-text citations. Anytime you quote, paraphrase, or summarize, you must include an in-text citation in the body of your paper. An in-text citation is a shortened version of the full source, which is listed in the references page at the end of your paper. There are several different citation styles or ways to create in-text citations and references lists. Communication and speech subjects use APA. This is different from MLA, which you may have used in your English courses. The 2 most important components of APA style are in-text citations and references lists. In APA style, in-text citations are usually made up of the author's last name, followed by a comma, and then the year of publication. They are inside parentheses, and the period comes after the parentheses. For example, if you were citing this PowerPoint presentation, you would write Kramer, 2023. Many times, however, there is not a specific author, especially of an internet source. In that case, you use a shortened version of the title. For example, if you did not know that I was the author of this PowerPoint presentation, you would write Plagiarism, which is a shortened version of the title, and then the publication date. So this would be plagiarism inside quotation marks. And let's look at that ND. Many times, an internet source does not have a date of publication. In those cases, you use N period D period, which stands for no date. For in-text citations of direct quotes, you also need to add the page number. If there is no page number, use something similar like a paragraph number or a slide number. Here are some examples. All of your in-text citations must have corresponding full citations in your references page. The references page is a separate page at the end of your paper. It contains full citations for every source in the body of your paper. Let's look first at some in-text citations and then some full citations in a references page. I have copied and pasted this sentence from the Psychology Today article we looked at in the other video. Now, if I leave it just like this, that is obviously plagiarism. So, what happens if I add the in-text citation at the end? Is it fine now, or is it still plagiarism? It is actually still plagiarism because I need to use quotation marks with a direct quote. This example is fine. It is not plagiarism. But remember what I said about overusing quotations? This is a basic average sentence that does not need to be quoted directly. This sentence should be paraphrased instead. So here is a paraphrase. Take a moment to compare it to the original. I will go ahead and add my in-text citation with the author's last name and publication date. But guess what? This sentence is actually plagiarized. This paraphrase is too similar to the original. It is plagiarism even though it has an in-text citation. Your paraphrase cannot be too similar to the original. Now take a moment to look at this paraphrase and compare it to the original. The structure and word choice are fairly different from the original. I add an in-text citation and it's good to go. This third example is great. It is not plagiarism. Finally, you do not always have to put in-text citations at the end of the sentence. You can refer to the author in your sentence. As long as you include the author's last name, publication date, and page number if needed, there is flexibility in how the in-text citation can be structured. All right, let's look at a references page. Many of you will be using website sources for your projects. Here's how they should look. Author's last name, comma, first initial, middle initial if they have one. Then the publication date inside parentheses. Then the title of the page, which is italicized and mostly lowercase. Then the name of the website, and finally the URL. So our example source would look like this. Engeln, comma, R, period, parentheses, 2018, comma, November 12th, parentheses, period. The surprising downside of Instagram compliments, italicized and lowercase, except for the first word and the proper noun, period. Psychology Today, the name of the website, and the URL. The citations should also be double spaced, and then the first line is flush against the left margin, and the second and all following lines are indented ½ inch. You will also be using many database sources from the MCC library. Those citations should look like this. Author's last name, comma, first initial, middle initial, year of publication, title of article. It is not italicized, but it is lowercase. Then the title of the journal, which is capitalized and italicized. The volume number is italicized, and then the issue number is in parentheses, comma, and then the page range. Finally, you add the DOI, or digital object identifier, which is a stable or permanent link to the article. We looked at this article in a previous video. It has multiple authors, which are listed in the order that they appear in the article. Then we have the year 2022, followed by the title. Notice how only the first word and Instagram are capitalized. Then the journal title, volume number, issue number, and the page range. Last is the DOI. These are just two examples of how to create in-text citations and references pages. There is a lot more to learn. It would be too much to cover in this video, so I strongly recommend that you become best friends with the Purdue OWL. OWL stands for Online Writing Lab, and it is run by Purdue University out of Indiana. Simply search up Purdue OWL and the style you are using, which in this case is APA. Be sure to select a site that has owl.purdue.edu in its URL. Here is the page. The OWL does not generate your citations for you. However, it does tell you exactly how to format everything. It also provides a sample paper so that you can see how one is correctly formatted. We librarians are also happy to help with any plagiarism or citation questions. Don't hesitate to reach out. Good luck! You can do it.